This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. There's no end in sight for Wisconsin's nursing shortage. At least that's according to the Department of Workforce Development. Two of its prediction models forecast that Wisconsin could have as many as 19,000 too few nurses by 2040. Wisconsin's fall primary is less than 2 weeks away. Local election officials and voters are learning new ballots, guidelines, and procedures. Wisconsin Elections Commissioner Ann Jacobs says some results may not be known until hours after the polls close.
People should expect, if the race is close, that Milwaukee will be tallying until the early morning hours. And I want people to know that now, so that we don't have these silly rumors and conspiracy theories going on in November.
Jacobs speaking with Wisconsin Eye. We're getting more details about the vice president's visit to Wisconsin next week. Kamala Harris and her running mate plan to be in Eau Claire Wednesday afternoon. We still don't know the exact time and place. Plans are for a campaign rally between noon and 6 p.m. A new study recommends states take a public health approach to legalizing marijuana. The American College of Physicians says it would consider the effects of legalization on communities, not just users. The college's David Hilden.
States that legalize cannabis should consider, what framework are you giving for marketing, for advertising? What safeguards are in place for the content of your cannabis? What about the effects on our roadway?
Cannabis is illegal for recreational use in Wisconsin. Only CBD products with a low THC level are legal for medical use. Insurance premiums for workers' compensation in Wisconsin are going down. Starting in October, Wisconsin companies will pay 10.5% less on average. That's about $206 million in savings over the next year. Workers' comp pays medical bills and lost wages for employees who get hurt on the job. It's another record year for attendance for the EAA Air Venture. About 686,000 people came to the world's largest fly-in last week. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WXCO News, I'm Brittany Merlot. One person is dead after an early morning crash in Vilas County. It happened just after midnight on St. Germain Boulevard and the intersection of 155. Deputies say the vehicle was traveling east on 70, sped through the intersection, hit a large boulder, and rolled over several times. The male driver was ejected and suffered life-threatening injuries. He was flown to Aspirus Wausau Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Election season is underway, and it's leading to a spike in calls to the 988 line from voters dealing with election anxiety. In less than 3 weeks, the country has seen several historic events unfold. An assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, and current President Joe Biden dropping out of the race for the White House, all while waiting for the Democratic Party to officially nominate a new candidate. If you need ways to cope with the stress, call or text 988. It's available 24/7. America is in a mental health crisis. 1 in 5 people are suffering with a mental health issue, but it can hit people of color the hardest. Data shows that they're less likely to receive treatment and have far more barriers in their way. Nationwide, there are 350 people for every 1 mental health provider. A nightmare scenario when a gray wolf attacked and killed a Woodruff's family's dog on Tuesday. The family says the wolf ran right out of the right side of the woods into their front yard, quickly picked up the Chihuahua, and ran away with him. The owner tried to scream at and chase the wolf, but he would not drop their dog. And they fear next time it could be someone's kid. A wildlife damage specialist at the Department of Natural Resources station nearby confirmed that this is the 4th verified incident of a pet being attacked or threatened by a wolf this year. EAA Air Venture released its final numbers from this year's event. Attendance was approximately 686,000 people, which is the highest total on record. More than 10,000 aircraft arrived at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh and other airports in east central Wisconsin. At Whitman alone, there were nearly 17,000 aircraft operations in just 11 days, with an average of approximately 113 takeoffs or landings per hour. When it comes to camping, more than 15,000 sites accounted for more than 40,000 visitors, and there were nearly 6,000 volunteers volunteers to run this event. There was a record number of 861 commercial exhibits, 1,600 forums, workshops, presentations, and more. And there were 836 media representatives on site from 6 continents. The Oshkosh area's economic impact accounted for $170 million. The Wisconsin Valley Fair is underway. Daily admission costs $8 before 1 p.m. and $12 after. Children 10 and under are free and parking costs $6. Gabby Barrett performs tonight at 7:30 for $25 a seat. And the rodeo takes control Friday and Saturday evening in the grandstand. The weekend closes with a bang or a smash on Sunday as the Demo Derby fans get screaming at 5 p.m. Remember to keep hydrated as temperatures remain hot and humid. And Vilas County is a destination for cyclists with more than 50 miles of paved trails connecting St. Germain, Manitowish Waters, and towns in between. Now Mercer is hoping to make a looped paved path. This Sunday, they're hosting Let's Get Looped, an afternoon of celebration and information at Carroll Park from noon to 3 p.m. There will be food, drinks, live music, and a raffle for an e-bike. And that's what you need to know. I'm Brittany Merlot for WXCO.
The dog days of training camp. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. That's the Green Bay Packers offensive line driving the blocking sled in yesterday's hot weather.
We know it's going to be hot. Warned them yesterday to make sure they take care of their hydration, everything they put in their body, make sure you get a good night's rest, and it's going to be a little bit of a gut check, I think.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, who says the players will have tomorrow off to rest up for Saturday's sold-out family night inside Lambeau Field. The Wisconsin Badgers football training camp continues today at UW-Platteville. Baseball, the Brewers losing to the Braves 6-2, but Pat Murphy chose to focus on the positive. Willie Adames, with 112 consecutive starts now at shortstop, surpassing Pat Listash.
Willie Adames just set an incredible record today, playing that many games in a row at shortstop. That's something to celebrate. I have myself, and I've been lucky enough to be healthy, and I have myself ready to play every day.
The longest streak, 207 games at shortstop by Robin Yount. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Ready for a trip down memory lane? The film St. Elmo's Fire might be getting a sequel, according to Rob Lowe. Lowe recently teased the idea while promoting his Netflix show Unstable. The news comes on the heels of the documentary Bratz that was released in June on Hulu and directed by Andrew McCarthy. Lowe says he's met with the studio a few times over the last 4 months, and it is in the very, very, very early stages of development. Season 2 of Unstable premieres on Netflix August 1st. Deadpool and Wolverine smashed a box office record for an R-rated movie and pushed Marvel's cinematic universe over the $30 billion mark in earnings. There seems to be no sign of let-up in sight as the film reached another milestone by pulling in $24 million on a Tuesday, which broke the previous R-rated record set by The Joker at $13.9 million in 2019. To be clear, the record itself is not R-rated. At some point, I'm going to have to break down and check out Deadpool and Wolverine. There will be no major strike again in Hollywood thanks to a settlement between the Teamsters and the studios. Variety reports that despite making aggressive demands, the union walked away happy with modest increases that more or less match the increases seen by the actors and writers, or SAG and AFTRA. The union is said to be breathing a sigh of relief, and so are fans of movies and TV. What do famous people do when they run out of cash? They write a book, even though no one reads anymore. According to a soon-to-be-released book by Robert Jobson about Kate Middleton, King Charles said he is worried that Harry and his wife Meghan do not have any income, despite recent deals with Netflix and Spotify. According to Jobson, the royal family is worried Harry will write a tell-all and dish the dirt on the royal fam. Harry told Oprah in 2021 that Charles cut him off financially. Stand firm, Charles. Don't give that kid a penny of your royal inheritance. The actual physical act of signing those Netflix and Spotify contracts by Harry was probably the most anyone in that family has ever worked. If you're looking for a movie to watch this coming October 11th, you might want to check out Saturday Night, the film about the launch of Saturday Night Live in 1975. The Hollywood Reporter writes that it is getting a primo release date when it comes to award season. The film is directed by Jason Reitman and tells the story of the behind-the-scenes drama leading up to the first episode of Saturday Night Live. Real-time host Bill Maher sat down for an in-depth, as much as possible anyway, conversation with Haley Welch, a.k.a. the Hawktua Girl, on his Club Random podcast, where Maher shared his views on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Maher said he thinks Kelce will dump Swift because Swift is immature, and at 35, a little too old to be wearing her boyfriend's football jersey, said the 68-year-old Maher to his hot 21-year-old guest. The episode saw the self-proclaimed intellectual Maher laugh at the jokes Welch dropped in between double negatives. Why would you sacrifice your principles to talk to someone whose fame timer is in rapid decline? Yes, I'm asking Haley. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 7 to 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It is going to be mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms possible today. We'll be in the low, maybe into the mid-80s here this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, 66. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high in the upper 80s to right around 90. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 71.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com.